Welcome everyone to the enablement session for the 2025 R2 release of the Nakisa Lease Accounting Suite. In this session, I will walk through the key enhancements, new features, and usability improvements introduced in this release. We will focus on both business value and how users can take advantage of the updates immediately. The main objectives of this release is to improve user productivity. Focus areas also includes UI and UX improvements, mass operations, reporting enhancements, ERP field mapping, and control over external postings. So here's an overview of all the features, enhancements, new capabilities that have been released with this version. Some of them is driven based on the upgrade requirements. Additional is modifying unit inputs, whereby unit fields, level fields can be changed and modified without triggering a new event. Enhanced copy functionality provided within the objects, as well as our enhanced view of our product center and its usability. Next we have is the improved jobs. The copy functionality applies here as well, and as well as improved reports. On our GL Ledger module, we have now given ledger enrichment, whereby when you're using ERP field mapping, you'll be able to see all the additional fields that will be sent to your ERP via the journal entries. A new capability has been introduced whereby you have period end balances once the periods are closed. Next is giving you a new feature whereby you can have external postings, date cutoff for each accounting standard. And then we have also introduced new configurations on our financial org structure. Nakisa AI Assistant is now available in app. Users can get real-time guidance on workflows, features, and how to use them directly from any page in the solution. User has to just click on the chat icon to get started. It is very similar to the dashboard AI assistant introduced in the last release to create customized dashboards. Nakisa AI Assistant, your in-app Nakisa AI Assistant is now here. You can get instant answers about our product features and how to use them directly from any page in the application. All you have to go is click on the chat icon to get started. So when you log on, you also see a small pop-up which tells you what's new in each release. So this is a pop-up that you will see for the new release features in 2025 or 2. So you can go through them. Nakisa AI Assistant. The chatbot is right here for you on all of our modules on any page. If you have to ask any question, you can proceed by just simply clicking and ask, how can I perform a lease end? Or what are the steps to perform lease end? And a chat box will help you in doing step by step on the user guide, take you where the references are as well. So as you can see, it tells you step by step on how to perform a lease end in Nakisa Lease Accounting. You can follow these steps as well as look at clicking here will take you to the user guide as well. And just going to bring back attention to our AI assistant for dashboards. So if you're creating a custom dashboard, for example, now I want to create a custom dashboard right here. I have my dashboard AI agent, which again, I can ask questions to help me create new dashboards using different types of charts, pie charts. The list is long. You can simply search by asking a question. Can you recommend me some charts? And it'll give you a list of all the charts that is available within our dashboards. Now let's look at the enhancements in depth. The first one we will go through is the modifying unit inputs. What is it? This enhancement allows users to modify key unit level fields within the units, whereby you can change a serial number, license plate, reference ID, or inventory number, both before and after an activation group has been activated with no event required. It can be done on the UI itself, or it can also be done using a mass functionality. So why have we done this? We have provided you this because previously there were blocks for edits once the unit was activated with the AG. Therefore, it was very limited in performing data correction and any cleanup if required. So customers requested for more flexibility for unit level tracking, enabling flexible unit management. So as I said, how it will be used is that users will have an option of updating eligible fields manually or via mass using the update function. To keep in mind, there are certain blocked fields, example dates, cost objects, which remain protected by validation rules. Edits are permitted based on activation group status, not the unit status. So as we can see here that if an activation group reaches a lease end status, all the units become read-only. The modification is supported for both lessee and lessor contracts. For example, we have an active contract, and without clicking on events or any other fields here on this menu, we are able to change certain fields in the unit itself by navigating to the unit list, selecting the unit, and then starting from the top, we have general information, dates, cost object information, other cost objects, and other information. So if we go on the general information, certain fields are grayed out, whereas other fields we have an option of adding information in description, in the serial number, reference ID, license number, and inventory number as mentioned before. Next, we have dates. They are all grayed out, so you cannot make any changes. Cost object information, you can edit and change your cost centers. Other cost objects have been grayed out. And last but not least, other information you can add and change, modify information in all these fields. And once you have selected the changes, made the changes, you'll be able to submit and it will automatically get saved. So if I reopen it, you'll be seeing that the changes have been applied right away. So this is the new feature that we have added whereby the unit can be in any status except the lease end status where everything will get grayed out and you'll not be able to modify. But if it's a status whereby it's a defined up until lease end, you can make any changes I just shown to you on the UI here, or using our mass functionality, you'll be able to make all the same fields, option to change all the same fields in the mass as well. Enhanced copy functionality. We've brought you bulk action, flexible hierarchy, and faster setup. So what does that mean? We have allowed users to duplicate objects across different hierarchies, update key fields, example lease business unit, company code. You'll be able to copy in bulk and also reuse job inputs, which will help in streamlining the setup as well as reducing repetitive inputs when running jobs. What have we done? So not only you have now the copy functionality within the same parent object. For example, a contract can be copied under the same master agreement. A lease component can be copied under the same contract object. What we also have done is that you can copy an object to a different parent. So, for example, a contract can now be copied to a new master agreement, newly created, or an existing master agreement, apart from where it resides currently. Next, we have also offer now the bulk functionality that you can copy multiple objects at the same time into another existing parent object, or as mentioned before, another master agreement contract objects. So what happens is it's going to have decreased manual efforts in recreating these objects again for one object or in bulk. The copy functionality also applies to the jobs. For example, your batch posting at month end, you can actually simply copy an existing job and you don't have to re-enter fields every time. As well as you can use jobs that have been created by a different user. I'll show you on the UI how the copy functionality works. Let's start with an example where we are copying the contract under the same master agreement. So the user will come to the contract they would like to copy. On the right, we have the context menu. You can click on copy and you can write a name for this new contract. I'm leaving the same master agreement without making any changes, and I'm going to copy it. Once it has been copied, we can see that now it is under the same master agreement. I have two contracts, and we are able to successfully copy the contract under the same master agreement. Next, what I will attempt doing is I'm going to copy this very same contract, and I am going to copy it in a different master agreement. So I'll come here on the context menu. I'll copy the click on the copy icon. I will give it another name right now, and then I will change the master agreement name and search for a new one. So I have created a new master agreement enablement demo, and I'll be able to copy it now in a different parent hierarchy. So as you can see that I've successfully changed my master agreement hierarchy, the parent master agreement from 2025 R2 enablement to 2025 R2 enablement demo. So we have define. It will not bring any of the lower objects, so the lease components will not come in. Therefore, you will have to copy the lease component from the R2 enablement now in under the new copied contract once it's active. So when you copy it, it will automatically bring in a defined status, and you have to follow the process or make any changes if required. Next, I'll show you how you can copy objects in bulk. So in this example, I am on the contracts landing page. I will select the contracts I would like to copy, either under their very own same existing master agreement or in a new master agreement as we've seen before. So I'll come to mass actions, I'll copy. So if I toggle on copy under the existing master agreement, these two contracts will be copied under their master agreement, existing master agreement. That's where all these areas or fields have been read out. Or if you would like to copy these contracts to a new or different master agreement, you can simply select, and now these two contracts will be copied under this master agreement and will be assigned these fields for company code, lease business unit, and principal position. So upon clicking on copy, automatically this master agreement should get these contracts underneath them created. So we got a notification saying contracts are successfully being created. So now if we come under the master agreement enablement demo, we will see now that we have now three contracts. The contracts have now been successfully copied in mass under this master agreement. Similarly, once you have activated the contracts, you'll be able to copy in bulk the lease components into the newly created contracts. as well. So I just want to emphasize again that using the bulk copy feature, you can actually again copy contracts under a different company code as well. So I have these two contracts that I've selected to copy in bulk, and I assigned it a different master agreement. For instead of demo, I'm giving it now MLA test, and now I am able to modify the company code whereby I would like to save these new contracts. So just wanted to emphasize that as well. In the next section, I will cover all the enhancements that we brought in when you run all the NLA jobs. We brought you transparency, usability, and more efficiency now. We have included an eye icon on all the jobs whereby you can visualize the job inputs that were entered at the beginning of the creation of the job. Also, you can see more details of the profile by hovering over the different sections. Next is the object ID pasting. You can now copy multiple object IDs in order to run the job for specific IDs. So it can be for master agreement, contract, lease component, and activation group. We also have a better status indicator and color coded outcomes, which are going to help you identify if the job was completely uh, finished with no errors, or partially completed, or completely failed, or there was no jobs to run. And also the exportable posting reports. When the job is completed, you can actually export the file in Excel. This exportable posting report basically will provide you the list of all the failed object IDs if job was not completed, and also will provide you the reason code. So if you need to modify something and change something to rerun the job, you will have more information now. Now we can show you how the copy functionality has been taken a step forward, not just copying the objects, but also copying the jobs. So within a batch management, under operational postings, mass indexation, mass workflow transition, and mass modification, now users can actually copy the previously run jobs. So if I go on the operational posting jobs, I can not only copy my own job simply by clicking an icon. So if I want to copy a job, I can simply select this and automatically a new job will be copied using my profiles, and same way of another user. And before I copy, I can actually use the icon that is now available, which shows that what was the initial job that you are trying to copy, or the initial job that you had initiated. So now this is available. You are able to see anybody else profile as well. So for example, in a colleague of mine, if I want to see and copy one of the jobs that he or she has run, I can take a look at it and then simply copy it. And once I click on copy, it will pick up my profiles that I have created and I have assigned to myself. And this functionality applies to mass indexation jobs, mass workflow transition, as well as mass modification jobs. So the copy functionality for running the jobs doesn't apply only to batch management. As you can see, it also applies to the general ledger and anywhere else in our solution where you have to copy a job. So under the general ledger, we have this SAP posting bot where you are posting your entries manually. If it's scheduled, it automatically gets picked up and get posted. All your entries that needs to be posted externally for all our connected clients. And if you are running the job live, you can simply copy it, and I'll be able to create the job instantly. And you can verify as well, as I said, using the eye icon everywhere before you copy the job to look at the details. Under the copy functionality, we also now have added the option for a user to add 50 object IDs when creating jobs in Nakisa Lease Accounting Suite as well as in GL Balance Report. So in this example, I have copied activation group IDs and I like to paste it. So I have created an operational posting job, entered my inputs and profile, and when adding filters, I will drill down to the activation group, come on the search, and I'll control V, add my copied activation IDs. The system will also not only just paste them, as well as it will segregate in valid and invalid IDs to run this posted job. So as you can see, it says the following five pasted objects were invalid and the remaining are all valid. So your user can simply add it and run the job. And in case a user has, say, up to 100 object IDs to be added, you can add 50 IDs at a time. So you are capable of adding more than 50 IDs for the job itself. Status of the jobs and tasks. So in this example, I'm going to show you an operational posting job that I was running where I have no journal entries or postings to be picked up and posted. So when a user has initiated a posting job, it started and it finished, but what were the results? That there is nothing to be posted, then the status will be in grayed out done color. Next, I have a job that was initiated and had postings to be done for accrual, depreciation, and payment, which was successfully completed in the column done. Therefore, the status code is done in a green format. Next, I have some failed and some completed tasks. So if I click on this, it'll show me I had accrual, depreciation, and payment postings to be performed and posted where I had two failed. So now it's going to turn into orange color. So this way a user can just see that the task is completed. On the left panel, it says finished. And on the right, you have color coding where it tells you if there's an error, if 100% has been completed with no errors, or there was nothing to be posted. So it will be grayed out. The same way, I want to show you the mask workflow transition. It applies the same way. I have the color coding that is there showing us if the transition is completed, the work is done, and there is one completed and one failed task. Another example would be where there is transition done, the task is completed that was requested, except all of the items that were supposed to be posted have failed. Now this will be red in color. So this way a user can see if they have errors or they have completed the job successfully or not. Nakisa's Product Center. Users can use a product center not only to navigate existing modules they have access to, but also look at the new modules that have been added and what are the functionalities. Plus, now we have got in the integration of favorites and recently viewed objects in the Nakisa Product Center. So, favorite key objects via the context menu can be done for all the objects, master agreement, contract, lease component, and activation group for quick access from the Nakisa Product Center. As well, recently viewed or recently modified objects are automatically displayed in order for your most recent interaction to be viewed. If you need to go back and see where you were working and continue your work faster by accessing the recently viewed objects. So on the main menu, we have a Nakisa Product Center. And when you click on it, it'll automatically open another tab and will be called Nakisa Product Center on the top. It will say welcome Uchiko or the user's name, as well as providing you all the different access to the modules we have available that you have subscribed for. Then we have the quick access, underneath which you have recently viewed, recently modified, and favorites. So recently viewed and modified, it's easy based on your workflow that you have performed recently, you'll be able to see it. As well as if I come to the favorites, it is very easy to assign a favorite. So how you can assign favorites, as I mentioned, at any point in the object, different objects. If you decide to make it a favorite, you can come on the context menu, click on this icon saying add to favorites, and automatically this will be added on your product center as well. So if I come on the contract now, similarly you can add a favorite and we will see all of them being displayed in the favorite in our product center. So here we are back on the product center and we can see that the master agreement contract, and you'll see that we just added as favorites. They should show up in your favorites tab right away. So now if the user want to simply click on the icon, they can either remove it from the favorites or clicking on the icon, it's going to take them to the object ID itself. So as you can see, I don't have to search for my favorite. Once I clicked on it, it automatically brings me to the navigation page of that lease component ID. In Nakisa Lease Accounting module, as you may already be aware, you can add documents to each object ID at each different level, but you also have the option of adding documents despite of the security profile assigned to all the users. They'll be able to see all the documents and links that have been added in this section in the product center. Improving reports and logs. We have provided in now the 2025 R2 release the accessibility of the GL report, CTR report, which can be accessed now directly on the Nakisa Lease Accounting Suite itself, as well as we have now the weighted average discount rate report, which will have the 4 decimal places. Reporting module. Now in the main menu, we have our reporting module. It is now by alphabetical order of the reports, as well as the access to the consolidated transaction report and the GL balance report is right here. User can simply click on the consolidated transaction report and drops, and you'll be redirected automatically to the report. Terms and conditions pop-up offers two modes, basic and advanced mode. When you're creating a new term under your lease component, the pop-up opens in a basic mode and provides you a simplified view with the only essential fields needed to define a standard straightforward term. But if you require advanced mode, whereby it will show you additional fields, giving you full control over complex term setups. So for example, if I click on advanced mode, you will have the special payment, which is override first payment date and amount, same for the override last payment, as well as the escalating rent if required. Ledger enrichment for our clients who would like to have seamless data integration between Nakisa and ERP system. We have enabled mapping of specific text reference fields from our internal applications, the modules we have for real estate and accounts payable, to general ledger, which will subsequently get posted to your SAP when you run your posting bot. So now you'll be able to enrich, add more information to your postings that are being sent to SAP, and you can configure it using our ERP field mapping within the each individual application modules we have. I'd like to show you where you can see it's in the ledger transaction on the general ledger. On Nakisa General Ledger, under the ledger transactions, we have a column now here for enrichment status, which will show you before a posting gets posted externally in your SAP, what information are you going to send from Nakisa to your SAP. So if you click on this, it will tell you enriched from Nakisa Lease Accounting. If you're also a user of lease management and accounts payable, it will mention what the enrichment is. If you click on the icon, you'll be able to see the enriched, partial enriched, the information that you are sending. So how you will be able to add is basically under the main menu. Under the SAP posting bot, we have ERP field mapping. In this case, you can see all these postings. We have the option for you to customize or see the default information that will be sent to your SAP. For the SAP table, field, GL table, and field information is visible right here for you. For each journal, it can be configured. So this is what comes in the Nakisa General Ledger. So you can do the same for lease management as well as in Nakisa Lease Accounting as well. So under Nakisa Lease Accounting Suite, if you come on the main menu, admin section, the ERP field mapping. So this is where you can define what information you want to add to your postings with from the Nakisa Lease Accounting Suite. Next is another feature for our connected clients to the SAP. For external postings, we have now introduced a posting start date for accounting standard, which will enable users to define when postings will begin per accounting standard to the ERP from Nakisa, which will ensure documents are either sent to SAP or they are retained internally in Nakisa based on the configured dates. In order to do so, a profile needs to be set up in the general ledger. Users have the option to download an error report to see the activation groups and the failed postings as well. So, which will allow you to better handle your errors and make corrections. So, to show you an example, basically, what happens on the right is that you can click on the show report, it will show you the activation group, and the message will be right here if there is a failed status, why it will give you the error as well, and you'll be also able to download by clicking the icon right here in Excel, so you can do better validation and correction. This applies to, as mentioned, internal postings, so it will be the operational posting jobs in NLA, and if you're connected you will be able to see the same report and download it in Nakisa General Ledger, which is posting to your SAP. External postings in Nakisa General Ledger to your SAP for your connected clients. You now have the option of adding a posting profile based on the documents you want to post for each accounting standard. So now you can create a profile and you can have filter by company. You can add multiple companies on this, and then you can decide if you want to post all the accounting standards or if you want to post it for one accounting standard and use this profile to run your external postings in your SAP. View job. You can now view previously run job by clicking on this icon in all the jobs that you run for operational posting jobs, mass flow transition, modification. You can see this icon, which will help you to identify all the input fields you had entered to run this job to understand what was it run for, and if it's required to copy, you can copy it easily as well. So if you click on this, you'll be able to see all the details that were entered in case you're reviewing and validating or correcting or copying this particular job. External posting jobs. So just as I mentioned previously for the internal posting jobs, if there are errors, users can now view the report by simply clicking on show the failure report. It provides you a list of all the AG's units and the type of posting that was performed and the failure reason. Not only that, you're able to also download the report by just clicking on an icon and it will give you the report. So as you can see with the external posting job report, now a user can view and download a job report and troubleshoot why there was externally failed postings. This will also help you in closing your month end faster and efficiently. Updates in fast configuration, empowering users with greater flexibility and control. Now we allow users to rename expense categories to align with the internal terminology, business unit, and lease area relationship. It's now permitting you to assign a single business unit to multiple lease area. When a determination expense category enables mapping of lease payments to different GL accounts based on expense categories per vendor. IBR by contract currency. Now you are allowed to configure IBR by contract currency or internal asset class. As well as we have now the cutover date to post the external postings in your SAP. There's a cutover date that can be defined in the FOSS for each accounting standard. So in our FOSS, we have on our main menu accounting, the determination, we have accounting standard determination. As you can see, the very first one, we are able to define the cutover date. So you can use a pen icon and you can say the leading accounting standard. You want to start the posting date as 2025 May 8th, right? So you have an option of defining for the first a leading standard, secondary, and the third accounting standard, so that the postings will take place accordingly. With that, I conclude this session. I'd like to thank you for your time. And please feel free to ask any question and reach out to me on the email provided here or our support channels if you need more detailed information or personalized assistance with the new release features that we have in 2025 R2. Thank you, everyone.